everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I am the author of the young adult novel Essence and historical fantasy novel I Am Mercy, and today we're going to be talking about what is an epilogue. So I'm not going to do a fancy definition. If you wanted a fancy definition, just Google epilogue and you can get a fancy definition. Today we're going to be putting things into my own words. So I've come to the conclusion that there are basically two different types of epilogues: the type of epilogue that comments on something and the type of epilogue that gives a conclusion to something. Now, if we're referring to the epilogues in Shakespeare plays, we're referring to the ones that comment on something. That is when one of the players or actors comes on stage and says like, "Oh, thank you for watching our show, I hope you enjoyed it, and here's why you should give us some applause." The more common epilogue is the epilogue that sums everything up. So you've read a whole novel, things happen, blah blah blah, the novel ends, but you're like, that was a really good ending to the novel, but I feel like things haven't been tied up. Like there's just one thing that still needs to happen and one mystery that needs to be solved. That's where the epilogue comes in, where the novel is basically finished, but just out of curiosity, you want to see how things go. Like in the Hunger Games series, Mockingjay was the last book in the series, and the book ended, summing everything up, but it was like, how is Katniss? And, it's over, but how is she? How is she going to be in the future? So there's an epilogue that has her and Peeta, spoiler alert, married with kids and saying how she still gets afraid sometimes, but she's not, she's better. These type of epilogues are needed for beloved stories like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. If you've read Lord of the Rings, you know that Lord of the Rings is a very thick book, and the ending of the Lord of the Rings trilogy is kind of like really drawn out, and for some people that's a little too much, but for like die-hard fans, that's really important to them because they want to see all these endings given to all these characters. Now, what if you're a writer? Do you write an epilogue? Do you not write an epilogue? It's very difficult to decide that. What you want to do when either writing an epilogue or just finishing your novel is that you don't want to overstay your welcome. So basically, look at it this way. The entire book, you've had your climax going like this, building, 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 and then you reach the climax, and things are crazy, and then things start to get boring now. So that's when you start to lose readers' interest. So this here's the building of tension, this here's the climax, this is the boring area. You don't want to stay in this boring area for too long. You want to sum up characters, give them their proper endings, tuck in any loose ends. Of course, the bigger your fan base for your novel is, the more you can kind of work around that, where readers will forgive you if you overwrite your ending or your epilogue. But if you ask me, it's always better to have a shorter epilogue rather than longer. Your epilogue should definitely not exceed the length of a regular chapter. Anyways, that was my advice on the subject. Let me know if you guys have any other advice or differing opinions or anything like that. Let me know if you have any video requests, and as always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching.